What is up, 49er faithful? Welcome back to another 49er media video. And today we're going to be talking about some injury updates with the San Francisco 49ers, as well as some more contract extension news when it comes to Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams, who seems to have wanted more guaranteed money, and that's why he's been holding out of training camp, as John Lynch was on KNBR earlier today. So we're going to go over what he discussed about with Brandon Aiyuk and Trent Williams. But first, let's get into this kind of injury updates and news. And so first off, the 49ers are dealing with another offensive lineman injury here with starting left guard Aaron Banks, who suffered a broken pinkie and had surgery actually this morning, according to Kyle Shanahan. The hope is that he will be ready for week one, which is going to be super important because they are playing the New York Jets. Now, it is a Monday night football game, so they have that kind of extra day of rest compared to most other teams, so that should help them as well. So, unfortunate, even though we weren't really going to see Banks too much in the preseason. It's just a lot of these injuries are just piling up. So hopefully, guys are able to get healthy by the start of the season, by week one. So, yeah, at least it sounds like, they're feeling like he could come back, that there's a chance with him, coming back week one. So that's at least the good news. Now, more positive news is that Talanoa Hufanga actually met with his doctor yesterday, and now he's able to move and basically make more aggressive football moves on the field. For example, cutting, and so basically after that, as he continues to just get back, he can come back to practice. So yeah, he should be doing more drills and things kind of on the side, slowly getting back to it before he gets into camp. And also it sounds like he could be back for week one, depending on how everything else goes. But that's a good news there for the San Francisco 49ers with Talanoa Hufanga. Next up, so wide receiver Ricky Pearsall. Of course, he's dealing with the shoulder injury. The hope is he'll be back week one, ready for week one against the New York Jets. Again, like I was saying, with a guy like, Aaron Banks, is they're going to have kind of that extra day of rest because they are playing on Monday Night Football. So that's good to hear there. So, yeah, injury-wise, that's pretty much all the news we get, but two positive pieces of news, unfortunately. Again, Aaron Banks, that's just unfortunate, but hopefully he'll be back. It sounds like it's not going to be too bad. It seems like it's pretty small of a surgery if he can be back week one, so that's at least good to know there. And then when it comes to the contract situation, right, with Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk, so like I was saying, Kyle Shanahan, kind of talked about it too yesterday, and then John Lynch was mostly talking about Brandon Aiyuk there, but the 49ers having a lot of discussions with Trent Williams and his agent. And, they're hopeful that they can figure it out, and, the course of action will be coming sooner rather than, later. The sooner the better at this point, obviously now. So, yeah, that's, good for, the 49ers as they continue to have discussions. Again, hopefully that can come to fruition pretty soon. It'd be good if that can take place. I think honestly, if I had to guess, I think a Brandon Aiyuk extension though happens before the Trent Williams news, but we'll see. So like I said, John Lynch was on KNBR today, and people kind of probably were asking, oh, is there bad blood between the 49ers and Brandon Aiyuk? Because Brandon Aiyuk requested a trade, a few weeks ago. There's just been a lot of mixed reporting, And so John Lynch says there's no bad blood. Negotiations can get heated. I think it's his first time going through that, but no bad blood. There's a lot of love and respect for the relationship you've had, and hopefully we will have into the future. And then he also says the communication still has been really good, but with Brandon and his agent, I'm always hopeful. I can tell you we feel the urgency. So yeah, they want to get this thing done, right? John Lynch had said months ago they do not want to have this have to roll out, late like a lot of their other contracts. Well, unfortunately, it has. And he was asked why does he think this is taking so long, and he says, I wish I knew. I don't like that it's taken this long, but it has, and you deal with the challenges that you're faced with. I talked to a lot of GMs, and one thing they always say is, I'd love to have your problems. So yeah, the Niners, they have such a stacked and great roster, right? A lot of all pros, guys that are up for contract even next year, and you know it's tough. You have to make decisions, right? You have to decide, all right, we're going to have to see if this guy can take a pay cut, or we're going to have to move off of them, just like Eric Armstead, right? So just a lot of tough decisions. You have to figure, all right, how are you going to fill it up in the cap? You're going to have to project these guys, right? They have to project Brock Purdy because they have to extend him next offseason. So, these decisions are tough. A lot of it is like, okay, there's been kind of reports about, they've agreed on parts of the contract, but again, it's the whole contract. There's different parts to where it's like, all right, first maybe 2 or 3 years, this is what it's going to look like. All right, what's the rest of the contract going to look like? What's the language? Are there going to be any, outs kind of in the contract? Are there going to be any, if Brandon Aiyuk scores this many touchdowns or has these many received, incentives, right? It takes time for the language and everything else to come to fruition. And so, they got to get this done, but hopefully it will be soon. And then, kind of going with the headlines and the reporting that's been going on there. It was mentioned there's a lot of negative headlines right now, but what's the good? And so John Lynch says, well, I think it's a pretty good offseason when you secure Christian McCaffrey for a couple more years, when you get Juwan Jennings locked up, when you go out and get guys like Malik Collins and Yetur Matos and Leonard Floyd. And this draft class, we're really excited about this draft class. The draft class is going to be a special one for our group. So, yeah, it's, again, it's tough just with all these guys. Yeah, they've gotten contract extensions with some of these other guys, but some of those guys are easy to, deal with. A lot of these were also free agents acquisitions like Leonard Floyd, Yetur Matos, and then Malik Collins. Yeah, that was via trade. Has a good contract, very friendly contract, so you're able to go out and get him. And then continuing on Brandon Aiyuk, John Lynch says, the good news is Brandon is really, really hard worker. He's taken great care of himself this offseason. He's in fantastic shape, but there's things you have to do on the football field and getting yourself in there with our team. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense because the 49ers, right, again, going back to some of these other contexts they've given out, Nick Bosa, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, a lot of those guys haven't had as great years as they were hoping for. And a lot of it is, they're working out, they're getting in shape, but also it's like they don't want to risk injury. And so not practicing actually out on the field with the rest of the team affects them and is different than just working out, by yourself. So, it's important, but hopefully, Aiyuk has enough time with there. And, Trent Williams, it always seems like he doesn't really like training camp anyways, but, I think he's a guy that you're probably going to be okay with, hopefully. But, yeah, just hopefully both of these things get resolved with Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk relatively soon, Nick Bosa took a while right before week 1. We'll see, This is preseason week 2 going on right now. So hopefully by next week, maybe this weekend, we hear something. But yeah, it'd be great if these things get, figured out with Trent Williams and Brandon Aiyuk. But it's, good news on the injury front for the most part, except for, again, we were talking about Aaron Banks, unfortunately. But yeah, guys, that's going to do it here. Appreciate you guys watching this video. Make sure to hit that red subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you never miss any updates and breaking news. We are going to be doing a preview of the preseason game against the Saints probably tomorrow. So you won't want to miss about that. We're going to be talking about, players to watch for and what we kind of want to see in the second preseason game with some of the starters looking like they're going to be playing at least the first series or two. But guys, that's going to do it, guys. Again, make sure you hit that red subscribe button, turn the notification bell on. Helps me out a ton. That's going to do it, guys. Peace.